Hey guys, today we're going to construct a floating island for the swimming pool or pond. Now for those of you who have a pool or pond, you may want to have some floating plants in it, right? Like this one, water hyacinth or water lettuce, whatever you have, okay? So problem with that is that when you put these floating plants in the pond, it's going to have two threats. One is from around the area, surrounding the area, nuisance animals like a raccoon. It will try to, when it floats close to the edge of the pond, the raccoon will try to grab it and tear it apart. Secondly, the threat comes from below your fish. If you do have fish in your pond, especially big fish, they will nibble at the root. And so last year I tried this water hyacinth and it died because my koi ate all the roots, so it couldn't survive. So then I came up with this idea that we're going to build a floating island in the middle of the pool. Okay, so it's going to be anchored to the middle so that nuisance animals can reach it unless they want to swim. Of course, raccoons can swim, but they don't want to. They normally don't want to take that risk. So yeah, so if it's in the middle of the water, then it's relatively safe. Secondly, the island will have a net protection so that the big fish will not come from below to nibble at the roots. Okay, so this is the idea I've come up with. So all you need is 4 pool noodles. So the 4 sides are pool noodles. Okay, so you can buy them at in the dollar store for like $1 or $2. Okay, so these are long, floaty noodles. So you put 4 on the side, and connecting them is this thing. This thing, I took it from a plastic crate. So any kind of a box or crate that has basically the edge, you cut off the walls, just leaving only this. So this is actually this much inside the tube, okay? So it's like a X, Y, Z axis on a 3D chart, okay? So I put an X and Y inside these 2 tubes, connect them together using a fishing line to just kind of secure it so that it doesn't slide out of the tube. And this one will be, the Z axis will be used to push the net up, actually down. If we would flip it over, this is upside down right now. If we flip it over, it'll create a net on the bottom. So kind of like a cage. So this net will prevent the fish from coming up. Okay, so of course the noodles are not rigid. They're gonna bend. Okay, so what I did was I put this is a bamboo stick you can buy from Home Depot for supporting the creeping plants, but you can buy them really cheaply. So the bamboo sticks are better than wood because they don't rot in the water. So anyway, so use a zip tie. You can use fishing line anyway. So you use a zip tie, secure them to the noodle. So making this noodle relatively rigid. Okay, so 4 sides reinforced with bamboo stick. Okay, so it's now a perfectly good square with the connection joints, the XYZ axis joints. Then I put a square of net over it. So the net is purchased from Home Depot really cheaply. It's like $20. You can get like, I don't know, remember, this is very, very long net. Okay, so this is called a deer X. This is pretty much used to prevent deer from eating your plants. So yeah, buy the deer net or bird net, either way. You just put this over this on the bottom of this floating island, so that the leg here, the Z axis, will push the net up. Okay, or later you will see it's down. So then finally, to prevent the net from drooping, because it's going to droop, and if more. This is drooping, but it's once you put this in the water, it's actually going to float up, so that it defeats the purpose of having this net to prevent the fish from coming up, right? So what I did was I put 4 weights down on each side in the middle, because you already have this z-axis on the edge. So we just put 1 weight in the middle. Okay, it doesn't have to be too heavy. It could be a fishing weight, or could be a little like the nuts or bolts, whatever you have, washer. And make sure it's stainless steel so that it doesn't rust in the water. And in the very middle, that center, will have a small weight as well, so that it doesn't float up in the middle. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So when I flip this over and put this in the water, it's going to be a perfect square with a box of net under it. So you put the plants inside, it's going to be protecting it from the fish from all sides. Okay, so the last but not least is, how do we make sure it stays in the center? Now, if you have a big lake, you could do kind of like a sea anchor. Just tie some weight with the fishing line in the very dead center in the middle, so that the weight will drop down to the bottom and just center the island. But for me, this is a small pond, small pool. So I'm going to just use a fishing line to tie on the 2 corners and tie down something fixed on the banks, on the edge of the pool. Okay, so let me do that. I will show you. Okay, so this is the final result. In the middle of the swimming pool or pond, and perfectly square, anchored with you can't see it, because if you don't want people to see the line, it's anchored by a fishing line, so almost invisible. So 2 points, this corner and that corner, 2 fishing lines anchoring to a fixed point on the swimming pool bank. And as you can see, we have the water hyacinth perfectly floating just inside. And because of this pool noodle is pretty thick, I think it's okay for those smaller floating plants like frogbit or duckweed. Those things can probably float in here too, but I'm not 100% sure. But the bigger ones like water lettuce, water hyacinth, can perfectly live in here without the attack from raccoons or big fish like koi. Okay, there you go. I think we did a pretty good job. Thank you for watching.